Eastern Airlines Flight 855. On May 5, 1983, a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar, registration N334EA, operating as Eastern Airlines Flight 855 en route from Miami International Airport to Nassau International Airport, experienced the loss of all three engines near Miami, Florida. The flight crew succeeded in restarting one engine in time to safely land the aircraft at Miami International Airport. The incident aircraft was a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar 1, registration N334EA, MSN 1141. The aircraft had been manufactured in 1976. It was powered by three Rolls-Royce RB411-22B turbofan engines. Background: on May 4, N334EA had flown into Miami where it underwent overnight maintenance, which included a check of the magnetic ship detectors inside the jet engines. This involved removing the master ship detector from each engine and replacing it with a new one. Each chip detector had two O-rings, which served as all seals. The replacement chip detectors were not fitted with O-rings, a fact which was not noticed by the mechanic who fitted them. After the ship detectors were fitted, each engine was motored for 10 seconds to check for all leaks. None were found. The aircraft was signed off as serviceable and returned to service. Incident: Eastern Airlines Flight 855 took off from Miami International Airport at 8:56 on a flight to Nassau International Airport in the Bahamas carrying 162 passengers and 10 crew. On board was a veteran flight crew consisting of Captain Richard Body 58, Captain Steve Thompson 48, and Flight Engineer W. Barnes 44. Captain Body had more than 12,000 hours of total flying experience, although he was new to the L-1011, having logged just 13 hours in the aircraft type. On this flight, Captain Thompson served as a supervisory check airman. He had accrued close to 17,000 flight hours throughout his career, with 282 hours in the L-1011. Flight Engineer Barnes had more than 9,000 hours of total flying time, with 2666 hours clocked in the L-1011 cockpit. At 9:15, while descending through 15,000 feet 4,572 m, the low oil pressure indicator on the TriStar's number 2 engine illuminated. The flight engineer noted that the oil pressure on the #2 engine was fluctuating between 15 and 25 psi. The minimum pressure required for normal engine operation was 30 psi. The captain ordered the flight engineer to shut down the engine. By this time, the plane was about 50 miles 80 km from Nassau. The crew elected to return to Miami to land. Flight 855 received a clearance back to Miami, as well as instructions to begin a climb to FL 220,000 FT, 6,096 meters nominal altitude. En route back to Miami, the oil pressure lights for engines #1 and #3 illuminated, and the oil quantity gauges for all three engines read 0. At 9:23, Flight 855 informed Miami OC of the engine gauge readings, but stated, "We believe it to be faulty indications since the chance of all three engines having 0 oil pressure and 0 quantity is almost nil." At 9:28, an altitude of 16,000 feet 4,877 m, the #3 engine failed. 5 minutes later, the #1 engine flamed out while the crew was attempting to restart the #2 engine. Cabin lights went off and flight deck instruments stopped working. The aircraft descended without power from about 13,000 feet 3,962 m to about 4,000 feet 1219 m at a rate of descent of approximately 1,600 feet 488 m per minute. The crew successfully restarted the #2 engine on the third attempt and executed a one-engine landing at Miami at 9:46. After the landing, the power from #2 engine was insufficient for the aircraft to taxi A tug had to be used to tow it to the airport terminal, where the occupants disembarked normally. None of the 172 passengers and crew aboard were injured in the incident. Cause. The National Transportation Safety Board determined that the probable cause of the incident was as follows. It was subsequently established that the engines needed to be run for at least 30 seconds with no O-rings fitted before an oil leak would become apparent. Awards. Barnes, Boddy, and Thompson were each presented with an award for outstanding airmanship by the Airline Pilots Association.